Yeah, exactly.
That's how it was.
Oh, man, when I first started, when I was up in the Kentuckys with the Poffos back in 81, 82, the way we got to the town was all the, I ain't talking about Savage or his dad or Leaping Lanny or, them type guys, but I'm talking about us regular talent. We all piled into the ring truck. That was our transportation.
Right.
They had a big truck, and they put the ring in it. We all piled into it. Man, in the summertime, it'd be hotter than heck in the back of that thing. In the wintertime, it'd be so freezing cold. The cab was connected, so it had like an opening right there. It was open to the back. You'd try to get as close as you could to get some of that heat in the wintertime. Find the softest ring boards you could find and crawl up there and make you trip. That was how we got there. And I'm talking about long trips too. They wouldn't around the corner trips. I'm talking about long trips.
Well,
that was just the way we did it. Man, dudes nowadays, if they had to do that, they'd quit in one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Rod, you talked about that. You talked about how y'all used to pile in a bus, leave Dallas to head to can't remember where it was, Memphis, to make the tapings and everything, and it was a long ride in a bus. You cramped up and a bunch of guys. It's just how it was back then.
Exactly.
That's the way it was. I mean, you didn't think anything about it. You just jumped in, and
it didn't even cross your mind, man. You was just, man, I'm wrestling. I don't care. You just
we got to go 800 miles to the next town. Let's go.
Yeah.
Got to get.
That's it. That's all there was to it. Man, my first time coming into Mid-South Wrestling, when I left my home in South Carolina, I just finished ICW. I went home to South Carolina. Well, when I left ICW with the Poffos, I didn't have a driver's license yet. I was, 82. I didn't even have a driver's license or a vehicle. So when I left there, I went with one of the guys that was up there with us, Gary Royal. I rode back with him to his house in North Carolina. He had his LTD, and I didn't have no money. So he said, "Okay, man, I'll give it to you, and you just pay me when you start making some money." He knew I was going to Mid-South, He said, "When you get the money, you can send it to me, and you can pay it off." I said, "That'd be cool." So I didn't know nothing about driving. I didn't have a license. We took the car and took a big glob of mud and rubbed it on the tags, so it'd cover it up. And I drove on home. Didn't have a license or nothing. Drove home to Spartanburg with it, Then I got Spartanburg. I didn't have a driver's license. I couldn't get a driver's license with that car because it wasn't insured yet or nothing. So one of my buddies, that I grew up with, let me use his car. I went and took my first driving test. I failed it. I couldn't do the parallel parking. I messed up on it. So I went back. I waited just a couple of days, went to another location. I'm not thinking, computers. I don't know they had computers. I go to another location, and the tester's like, well, you just tried a couple of days ago. You're supposed to, wait so much time before you do another one. I said, man, I got this job and out of state, and I really need these driver's license, and the dude was nice, He didn't know me as a wrestler or nothing, just a regular dude, He said, man, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So we did the test. I still messed up, but this dude passed me, He said, here you go, here's your license. So I got my driver's license, and I'm ready to roll, baby. I get the car, get some insurance and tag and everything now. And I leave my home in Spartanburg, and I ain't hardly got enough money to get a soda pop. Just had enough for some gas money to make it there. I get into Baton Rouge, I don't have nowhere to stay, so I pull up in a parking lot, like a bank or church or something. I figured this would be a safe place. I'm sleeping in the car in the parking lot. The police come pulling up, shining lights all in the car, say, hey, what's going on here? I'm like, man, I didn't have nowhere to stay, I just come into town, and they look shining all in the car, looking for beer cans and stuff, and they go, well, you can't park here and sleep, it's illegal. And I said, well, I'm coming in for, Mid-South Championship Wrestling, and I didn't have nobody's name but Grizzly Smith. So I said, you can call this man and check, so they checked with Grizzly Smith, and, he verified who it was and all that, so they were like, okay, but you can't sleep here. So I found some off back alley and slept in my car, and then Bill Watts heard I didn't have nowhere to stay or nothing, so he gave me an advance, on some my money, coming up, and I was able to finally establish myself with a with a roof over my head.
Damn.
So how many guys would do that to get into wrestling? You know what I'm saying? You sleeping in your car.
Right. Nobody.
No food to eat, basically a loaf of bread, maybe some peanut butter, that's it. But, you know, I wanted to be a wrestler, you know. It wasn't given to me. That's why I tell guys, this wasn't given to me. I worked for it.
Yeah.
You know, I went through a lot of stuff to get to where I was at.
Well, it's like you said, people see, I guess, the end product or where you're at that time. Like you were talking about Austin or you're talking about Undertaker, they don't realize that those guys started at another spot. They weren't always there. I mean, they may say, well, oh, yeah, I realize they started at the bottom, but they can't visualize and they don't see those people at that spot at the bottom. They don't realize where they started.
No, I remember Austin telling a story that I think he was in Memphis or somewhere, and he was telling a story that they were so poor there that all they could afford was potatoes. That's all they had to eat was like raw potatoes.
Yeah, I heard that. He said he was peeling raw potatoes in his car.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's just an example right there. I mean, nobody starts. I mean, now maybe nowadays. I'm talking about back years ago. Nobody started on the top. Everybody had a rough time. You had to work your way up, work your way in. I mean, it wasn't just given to anybody. Nobody was just given the spot. You know, unless you were like like a Von Erich who was born into it. I'm just talking about regular people. You know.
Right.
I mean, it ain't like now. They throw you on TV and you're a star.